Hi, Math 1. Let's recap evaluating functions. Okay, so first of all, there's two steps you should always show when you're evaluating. Number one, you're going to plug in the input. Whatever input value they want you to plug in, okay, you're going to plug that in, and then you have to plug it in the correct function. So there might be two functions. We have to make sure that we're using the correct one. Okay? And then the second step is you have to calculate. And we're going to calculate if there's numbers, okay? And we're going to simplify. We're going to simplify if there's variables, if there's letters and stuff, okay? So take a look at these two functions. There's an h of n function. And this function says they want you to take 3 and raise it to the exponent of n plus 1. Okay, so you see here how the n is the input. Whatever input they want you to plug in, you put it into that spot. It's an exponent, it's high, okay, and it's in its power. Here, the input n is right there, negative 2 times n. That's the input. Okay, so let's try some problems together. This first one here wants you to use the h of n function, and they want you to plug in a negative 3. So I'm going to do h of negative 3 equals, the equation says 3 to the exponent of input plus 1. My input is negative 3 plus 1. Okay, and we can go ahead and type all that into the calculator. Okay, so if you get your calculator app open, I'm going to type I'm going to take 3 to the power of negative 3 plus 1. Make sure everything you type is in the exponent, okay? And then when you hit enter, I get 0.1111. Let's take a look at number 2. P of negative 5. Now they want us to plug negative 5 into the p function. Okay, so p of negative 5 says negative 2 times the input, which is negative 5, okay, plus 6. Notice how I'm using parentheses for my input. When you have a letter next to a number, that means multiply. Parentheses is a great way to do multiply. So p of negative 5 is, I think I'll just use my calculator again, negative 2 times negative 5. Make sure that when you're doing the negative sign, it's the little one down here, not the minus sign, okay, and it should look a little smaller. Close those parentheses, plus 6, and the answer is 16. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. Okay, now they want us to input a variable, and that can be done. So we're going to take a look at the p function, and they want us to input a d. So into the n spot, which is the input spot, I'm going to put the letter d, negative 2 times d. When you have letters and numbers, you could just write them next to each other. That means multiply, plus 6. Okay? And people ask me sometimes, what do I do with this? Nothing. You can't calculate with letters. You can't add terms that have variables with numbers. So you leave it just like that. Okay, last one here. Now I'm going to use the h function, okay, and that is going to be my input. The h function says you take a base of 3, okay, and we raise it to the input plus 1. Okay, so my input is x minus 1 plus a 1. Okay, so this is an example of maybe I can simplify a little bit here. So I have a base of 3. This says x minus 1 plus 1. Okay, minus 1 plus 1 makes a 0. So all I have left is the x. Okay, good luck practicing some evaluating questions.